Mario. I am the manager of internal audit at S&B at the Lincoln Place. And I'm very, very glad to have been given this opportunity to give my S&B story. And my story would be better if I add a little bit of personal context in there. We were raised up by, in a family of six siblings, and my dad, he was a teacher, a school teacher, and my mom was a stay home. So we did not grow up with a lot. This is because of my father's background. His father, who is my grandfather, would die when he was just 7. So he managed to educate himself doing some menial jobs and after high school and became a teacher. And then he met my mother, and down the line, 6 children to raise. So it was a struggle for him to raise the children, and he managed to educate us as much as he could. But for me, up to high school. And then, as you can imagine, in the high school education, there is nothing much came my way. But as nature would have it, at some point we got an opportunity to leave our home country and to go to the Middle East, where we had some jobs that we were doing. And that's where I enrolled myself in a university in the United Kingdom. And I graduated as a chartered accountant. I established my career in the Middle East thereafter graduating. And after 15 years, I had managed to climb the ladder of the corporate ladder to a director. And at some point, uh, we came at a crossroad because at some point in the Middle East, we were considering either relocating back to our home country or looking to go to another country for reasons of stability of family and stuff like that, because our kids were growing as a family. And at that point, when we were at the crossroad, um, the immigration officers from New Brunswick came to the Middle East. They were on a campaign to increase the population, the immigrant population, to cover up the shortfall because of the aging population. So it was just very coincidental. And they came on a campaign, and they brought the pictures of New Brunswick, which we enrolled in that program, and we liked what we saw. And we went through the process, and that's how we found ourselves in New Brunswick. After landing here in New Brunswick, again, you're met with this challenge of again trying to establish yourself in a new country, in a new place, and it's not easy. So in the beginning, nothing was coming through in the beginning, and trying to settle. So we decided, because we had bills to settle, I decided I had to take anything that comes my way first, just to make sure that I could pay my bills. And I found myself at a call center as a customer service representative. And that's what I did for 8 months as I continued to look for a position and a job commensurate with my credentials and my experience and my training. And 8 months down the line, that's when I found a competition listed by S&B that looked kind of like, it was fitting me. It was a financial analyst position. And luckily, I got an invitation for the interview, and I went through the interview process, and that was completed. And luck was my side, and I was very happy. I got the role, and I got signed a contract. And I remember I was to start in a week's time. But as I was doing this interview for a financial analyst, I also found another competition that was even more fitting to my credentials, and that was a manager of internal audit. And side by side, as I was doing the other interview, I was doing this other interview as well, and it was ongoing. But I had come to that point that whatever came first, I would take that as my fate. And I got this new position. And just before I started, in a week's time, the Friday before, I got a call. That time, I think the offices were at the Westmoreland. I got a call from the manager who was conducting my second interview. And on that Friday, he called me to the office, and I got surprised that I was taken as well. And to my surprise, he had gone ahead to the other manager. I think most of you know him. His name is Trevor Ricketts. And he informed him that I was getting this other higher position. And it was crazy because I got a promotion even before I started. And Trevor would come into the office and shake my hand and say, it was a pleasure working with you. And we were all laughing and all that. It was a fun time. And I got a promotion before even I started. I guess this happens only at SNB. It's been 3 years since then, and I've been in this role and loving it and learning through it and improving myself. We haven't arrived yet, but I'm still working on it and I'm loving every step of the way. And just to give a little bit of context of what we do as an internal audit department, we actually are responsible for making sure that the objective of SNB as laid out by the board of directors are being achieved. So what we do is we make sure that there is compliance. We conduct audits to make sure that there is compliance with the standard operating procedures. So we go through all the departments, especially so the service centers, to make sure that there is compliance with this laid down procedures and protocols, and we actually feed back to the manager if there is a deviation. And what we try to do, it's we are not into this role as the police officers, but we work with the managers to improve the processes, and we do recommend, where we need improvement so that we can be more efficient and effective in achieving S&B objectives. On the other hand, what we do is we safeguard the assets of S&B, and that means the taxpayers' assets are safeguarded. So in that regard, we do conduct investigations. If there is a suspected or an actual theft, we do conduct investigation to try and establish how much of the assets was lost and how we can change the processes to make sure that that does not happen again. So in the end, we are we can be considered as we add value to SNB and to SNB processes and managers, and we are a great asset in helping the board and SNB to achieve its objectives. I'm so glad to be part of SNB. It's still a dream. It's still unbelievable that we are here. I think SNB is a great place to start a career with and to work and to grow. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. That's my SNB story. Thank you.